Hi, I'm Charmaine. Welcome to the Love of Self podcast, where we delve into the emotional aspects of finding love for self. Today's topic is burdens. In my book, I wrote a poem called Remove Yourself. And in there's a line about removing the cloaks of pain that have been placed on you. And with that phrasing, I was speaking of a transferred negativity, a transfer of emotional baggage that's placed on person to person, where one person can carry their pain in a way that is explosive, or maybe easily explosive. Maybe their energy speaks harmful towards you. It acts in a negative way. It acts jealous. It acts fearful in some way. And it's projected toward someone that has nothing to do with that. And when we take that on, when we take whatever negativity that people bring onto us and we begin to believe the possibilities that it's true, or that we're seen in this negative light, when we do that, we end up taking on that burden, that baggage that someone projected from themselves. And sometimes some people can carry a lot of baggage from other people. You know, a lot of us probably carry our parents' baggage, or teachers and people we went to school with or worked with, or whatever the case may be. And the more of that we deal with, the more it creates a hefty sense of awfulness in our spirit, in who we are. It soils who we are. There's this cloak of pain and anguish and heartache, confusion, misguidance that's placed on us when this happens. And then we wear this cloak and have to understand ourselves better, find clarity within ourselves to release this cloak from our existence, from our appearance, from our aura, from who we are. And if we have dealt with cloak after cloak, baggage after baggage, and regardless of how we interact with whatever circumstances that have come across our path, however it is that we behave with the reaction to the circumstances that we find ourselves in this case, it still leaves a negative energy on us. I find that a lot of times, even if we think that what somebody is saying or doing, what somebody is gossiping about, or whatever negativity they're throwing our way, some things can linger in us, especially those things that we dealt from childhood. It's hard to take some burdens off, some cloaks off. Sometimes we take on the cloaks for everyone else to see this same negative pattern on you. If we take it and allow it to keep moving forward, if we allow it to adjust ourselves in just as negative energy as we received it, if we're unable to come to terms with the truth of what's really going on here between us and someone else, we can get lost in the sauce. We can get lost in the burdens. We can get lost in the emotional burdens that someone tries to put onto you. It can be difficult to see the truth. It can be difficult to see your true self when you have this type of energy all the time, when you're dealing with this type of network of harmful behavior. How do we then begin to remove our cloaks? It's the burdensome baggage that's been dropped on our lap because of other people's problems. It may be time to figure out how to remove the cloaks of shame and ridicule up off of you. Things that are not our burdens to bear, but yet we end up carrying everyone's load. We end up being the punching bag. We end up being the stepping stool for someone else's upliftment. I think some may say fighting back may do this, but even then, there's still an emotional lingering that happens. There's still memories of why these things even came about in the first place. I would say acknowledging the truth of who you really are and not accepting someone else's burdens, not accepting the emotional burdens placed on us. I would say to not allow someone to tarnish the positive relationship we have with ourselves, that relation that we have to connecting to what's good within us and seeing the truth within that, or simply just not putting up with it anymore. Removing ourselves from the people that we know are always hell-bent on harming us, regardless of the emotional ties that are there. I would imagine that removing the cloak of someone else's burden is the removal of the very essence of the negativity that is there. Finding ways to see things clearly and not through the eyes of those who want to harm you. If your eyes begin to see their pain onto you, then it's time for an adjustment. It's time for a release. It's just simply time to remove. I'd like to thank you for taking these few moments to listen to what I have to say. I greatly, greatly appreciate you. So I'd like to ask you, do you know the burdens that you have bared from other people? The negativity placed on you that didn't belong to you? The negativity that you began to believe because you heard it so much? How do you think you could remove this off of who you are, how you behave, how you move through life? What do you think it would take to clear out the heaviness that was created within you? I'd love to hear from you. Please comment or email theloveofselfpodcast@gmail.com. Please remember, I'm not a therapist. Also, my new book is out, Love Yourself, a book of poetry and spiritual writings for self-love. It's available now on bookbaby.com. Purchase link is in my Instagram bio. I wish you all peace, love, and joy always. Until next time.